Welcome to the Stack Supplement Podcast, the premier source for supplement news and reviews.
With another week comes another episode of the Stack Supplement Podcast. We go over all of the exciting announcements and interesting stories shared on our website from the past 7 days. As promised last week when we did our interview with Sam Strange from Glaxon, which was definitely a fun time sitting down with and talking with one of the minds behind that exciting new brand. We did, as promised, we did more interviews. We're going to be doing more. And this week we have Ben Hartman from More Stack3d Nutrition. This was actually something multiple people reached out and said you should sit down with a guy. The brand only kind of just popped up on our radar. And I thought, why the hell not? We reached out, we sat down. It was a great conversation. I do apologize in advance if you're used to our time frame of keeping these episodes around that 30-minute mark, because this one is a length. It's a great conversation, but it's a little long. I think we hit the hour mark, but well worth the listen. And it'll be dropping Wednesday or Thursday, and we talk about pretty much as we could in an hour, the beginnings of the brand, how it started, how it's grown, where it's going, what they've got coming, specifically some of the new stuff they're working on, such as Morpho Pump, Adaptogen, which is their new Adaptogen formula, obviously, and the extremely interesting Morpho Bar. But again, that'll be coming on Wednesday or Thursday. This show, we're going to do the usual roundup of stories from the past week, and we're going to kick it off with the news from A&S Performance. A&S Performance has been around for quite some time. They made a lot of noise a number of years ago when they dropped their pre-workout ritual, which landed on our top, I think it was top-ranked pre-workout on our site for quite some time until you had a lot of other products come over. I think it was obviously after the DMAA era. But yeah, it was a reputable pre-workout, and they dropped several great supplements following that. But over the past years, they've been diving more into the keto-friendly side of things. You've seen they had the Ketosis meal formula, keto-friendly cocoa, keto-friendly baking mixes for brownies. And this past week, they announced their first ever edible product, and of course, keeping with their more recent theme, it is a keto type snack. It is a high fat, moderate protein, low net carb. We guessed it was going to be keto based on the original teaser and the fact that they've been doing keto pretty much non-stop for the past year or two. And the new product that they've got is called the Keto Wow Snack Bar. I don't actually know what it looks like on the inside, but we can tell you pretty much everything else. It is, as mentioned, high fat. You get 14 grams of fat per bar with 8 grams of protein, 14 grams of carbs. However, a lot of that is fiber. You got 10 grams of fiber, so it brings down the net carb count to pretty much in line with a lot of other keto-friendly snacks out there. And more importantly, the product is launching. I believe it's going to be available next month. I'm recording this on Sunday, so yeah, it'll be out sometime in June, and they are planning to drop it in 4 different flavors, all of which sound pretty damn tasty. To be honest, while I do prefer high protein snacks, we've done our fair share of keto friendly snack reviews, and they're all pretty damn good. I mean, you can't really, a lot of them are just really tasty. And the flavors this one's planning to launch in is triple chocolate cake, salted caramel chocolate, peanut butter chocolate, and lemon strawberry, with that last one sounding like quite an interesting mix. I have had lemon strawberry products before. I think, if I remember correctly, Warrior Crunch, that was a protein bar, but they did one. I think it might have been lemon raspberry. That's a very tasty, very interesting mix. But yeah, that will be launching next month or sometime in June. And in Canada, I'm not too sure how quickly they'll be getting it anywhere else outside of that, but it will be there next month. Moving on, we're going to stay in functional space as we got some what was pretty exciting news, not so much for the US, but for the European market in regards to 3D Energy. Now, 3D Energy, I've mentioned several times on this podcast before. I'll sound like a broken record, but it is one of the best tasting energy drinks out there. If I had to give my 3 favorite, I actually don't know what my 3 favorite are, but my 2, America Energy and 3D Energy, I would say it's a close race between them. They both taste damn good. I give America the push ahead because they just have a wider variety. They've just grown to quite a nice stable of flavors, and 3D has, it's better in some areas. I definitely like the original white. The silver is another interesting product, but it's a tight race. Either way you go, they're both damn tasty. But the news is over in Europe. So 3D Energy has been out on the market in Europe for some time through the retailer and distributor Predator Nutrition. Now, basically, if you have been in the area, you will have noticed that it hasn't been in stock. I believe they ran out quite a bit over the past few months. I think they were saying since like the start of not September. I think it was in September. So since then they were running a bit low, but and then it's just faded out. So what they have done in that downtime is Predator, the distributor, worked with 3D Energy to bring distribution and manufacturing to the UK. Now, what that created was basically, I guess, a faster replenishment of stock, fresher stock, the ability to distribute much easier rather than buying from the US, having it ship over, importing fees and all that stuff. So they localized the manufacturing to just make distribution easier, and it is, of course, does make it better. And they were saying that the product itself is identical. So they're saying the last few months they've been working on making it as similar as they can. The product has launched, I believe it was 5 of the original flavors, or 6, I think it's 6. So they got the blue, green, orange, red, purple, and white, with the other 3 due to be available at a later date, which is pink, Liberty Pop, and silver. Obviously, it's with their setup now, and I guess it's going to be much more efficient, whereas previously they would say, coming soon. Again, they'd have to ship it from the US to the UK, and that would take some time, whereas now, again, they have localized the manufacturing, so it's just going to make the process and distribution much more, more efficient, really. It should allow for fresh stock levels. They won't obviously be running out, and it's a very smart move, especially since they were saying the idea was that because Predator was just growing so quickly, and so it's good that they made that move now, obviously, to prevent running out at a later date, but to do it now and get it done. And yeah, so if you're in Europe, UK and all that, you'll now have better access, more efficient access to the product, with more new flavors coming soon. But in addition to the news that 3D Energy was brought to the UK, is that it was a little detail that we actually noticed a couple of days after the announcement that they brought it back to the UK. And that is that if you're a 3D Energy fan, loyal Stack follower, years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, back in December 2018, 3D teased a black can. Now, this was before they actually kind of gave them names. They would just call them the white, the red, the blue. And they also teased a purple, yellow, and orange. Now, back then, it was very exciting because, again, we didn't know what it was going to taste like, and they were saying, coming soon. Since those teasers dropped, because the black, I think, came around the same time as they teased those other colours, the purple, orange, and yellow, we've only seen the purple and orange launch. We've never seen a yellow, and we've never seen a black. Now, with this UK launch, they put the 3D Energy out there, and they gave the cases that they're selling the 3D Energy in the UK and Europe, it has a picture of the black one on it, which obviously sparked interest because this is the first time we've seen 3D mention the black one outside of that teaser all those months ago, 2 years ago. So it's based on the fact that that is a recent package. We're not talking about an old one. This is recent because they just relaunched in Europe. You have to imagine that one's coming soon. You have to imagine that it's finally going to see the light of day. I'm very excited. I always liked that original appeal of 3D. Like, this is the flavor. It's a white can. Have at it. Like, they didn't say what it was going to taste like. And just that single color is just, it's very mysterious and intriguing. So the black one has always been an exciting one for me, I guess. And I've always wanted to see, obviously, what they were going to do with it. And yeah, while 3D Energy hasn't said anything yet, I believe it's got to be coming. It's got to be coming soon. They didn't put any other colors on the box, and on that little package for Europe, the only one that's not released on there is black. So if it's not coming soon, you have to imagine it's their next new one. So yeah, you can check that on the site. We went into detail about the packaging, and you can see it for yourself. But while we're on the topic of the European market, also last week Grenade launched a new flavor of their Carb Killer protein bar, and this one, while it does take a lot of effort to get my hands on these new flavors all the way from the UK, as with anything, in markets that are not local, I might have to get my hands on this one because it sounds amazing. And the new flavor is strawberry ice cream. Now, Grenade hasn't traditionally tackled fruit flavors for the Carb Killer protein bar all that often. There have been a few occasions they've done it. A lot of the time, though, it's like chocolate, caramel, brownie, peanut. They're all very classic flavors. Fruit protein bars or fruit flavored protein bars, they're not very common, but when you do them right, they taste damn good. And Grenade has proven with every single flavor they've done that they can hit something out of the park. Their dark chocolate raspberry was one of the best carb killers to date. They had a few before then, but and they weren't that, carb killer's great no matter what flavor you go with, but they weren't as mind-blowing as we had seen in the past. But dark chocolate raspberry really just raised the bar and let people know that, yeah man, Grenade can still knock them out of the park. Grenade can still kill it. And dark chocolate raspberry was just one of those great flavors. And in the past, Grenade has also done dark chocolate mint. It's not really a typical fruity flavor, but it's not your chocolate and caramel and stuff. And they nailed that one. And banana armor, which was a limited edition flavor, but one of my favorite flavors they ever did. Chocolate and banana, again, not a traditional combination, but amazing. Chocolate orange, they did that one. Jaffa cake, amazing. So with this announcement, you have to imagine it's going to be another great flavor. And the other interesting fact is that this is a white chocolate flavor. And while I am a big fan of Carb Killer, I'm pretty sure this would be the first fruity flavor with white chocolate that they've done. As I mentioned, dark chocolate and mint. So the raspberry and mint were dark chocolates. The Jaffa was chocolate. Banana armor was chocolate. So yeah, it's always pretty good when you do that white chocolate and any kind of fruity combination, because typically that white chocolate's a little sweeter, so it just melds and morphs with that fruity flavor quite well. So I'm definitely excited to try it, but more importantly, the flavor's limited edition, so it's only going to be around for a limited time. So you're going to want to get your hands on it quickly if you're interested. Although I will say that banana armor one I was talking about, which was launched a while ago, a very long time ago, that was limited edition as well. But it hung around for, if I can recall, like a year, maybe more. It was around for a while. It was certainly not limited edition in the sense like one run, done, like it's around for a month kind of thing. It was around for a while. So I'm not sure if this would be the case on this one, but definitely pick it up. If I hear good things, I'll definitely reach out. Again, Carb Killer is just a legendary protein bar, one of the best, earliest candy bar type protein bars that just set the standard for the category, along with barbells in Sweden. So yeah, I'll probably pick that one up if I can. But the next story we've got comes from G Fuel, and we actually talked about this story in a previous episode when they teased it, and this is the G Fuel Moon Pie collaboration. And my guess, obviously, if you listened, was that it was going to be some sort of moon pie flavored G Fuel, which sounded strange, but possible. Although I did want to see like a moon pie infused with G Fuel, that would have been fucking cool. But as it turns out, it is indeed a moon pie flavor of G Fuel's gaming supplement. And as strange as it sounds, it is indeed trying to mimic the flavor of a classic moon pie marshmallow sandwich. The flavor combines chocolate, marshmallow, and graham cracker. So as far as I know, it's probably going to be one of the most intriguing G Fuels to date. Like I said, typically you get the fruity stuff, the fruit punch, raspberry, all that stuff. You don't really see anything outside of that realm. So yeah, it'll be. I'm intrigued to try it. I don't imagine it being like they nail flavors. I've had their coffee one, which is another odd thing to put in that kind of supplement as opposed to usual, mango, raspberries, and all that stuff. And that wasn't bad either. So they do pretty well. It's an awesome collaboration. The packaging looks awesome as well. They've obviously mimicked it after the original classic Moon Pie. But yeah, I believe it's going to be available to order later June, 24th of June. They've just teased it for now, and it'll be going live as always through their website, gfuel.com. Moving from G Fuel, if you are a fan of our reviews, we got 2 out last week. We don't do them often. We try our best just to sort of, we're a bit slow, I guess, on the review side. We like to take our time, get to know the product, put it through its paces, especially pre-workouts. But last week we got out 2. One was on Max Protein, which is a Spanish company we've been dying to get our hands on. We finally got to try their Black Max cookies, which is essentially an Oreo. It's pretty much an Oreo, but with a protein twist. And while I've tried a lot of cookies in my time, god damn it, this was next level. We even gave it to people that don't eat protein cookies just to gauge how good it was, and they said this tastes like a damn Oreo. And it is truly just an impressive functional product. Especially since a lot of protein cookies tend to have that, I don't know, they're a bit chalky, powdery. They don't have that crumbly classic cookie consistency. While they can deliver the flavor, very few come through with that crumbly consistency, that classic crumbly cookie. But this just it's amazing. It nails it. The flavor's there, and then if you have the chocolate coated versions, which is there is white and milk chocolate, they're amazing. And even better, the macros on these things aren't half bad. Like usually if you get something like this, you're talking about macros that are beyond a protein bar, upwards of like 20 grams of protein for 400 calories. This is not the case. You get 20 grams of protein, so similar protein to a protein bar at 270 calories. So it's not in that normal range of 20 grams for 200 to 220 calories. It's not too far off though. And if you eat it, you'll be damn happy you did, because it's worth sacrificing those calories for the flavor. You can check out that full review on our site. But the other one we did was Glaxon's Super Greens. We had heard good things about this product. We had heard great things about this product. I believe we talked about it in our interview with Sam Strange from Glaxon. And the thing lived up to the hype. I can't deny it. It just tastes like a fruit tea, like a fruity ice. It's just amazing, and it is. While Core Greens was great, I loved that, especially since it has such a loaded formula. Super Greens just, like I said, there's no earthy, gritty taste. It has a bit of like a herby feel at the end. Like a traditional tea, but because that's the theme of the flavor, lemon tea and orchard tea, it feels more like that than it does like a badly like fruity flavored greens product. So it's just damn good. It is for us one of the best, it is the best tasting green supplement on the market right now. Core's not far behind, while that was our previous favorite. We only tried that a few weeks ago. Glaxon deserves every bit of praise for that. It's just a great tasting, great flavored product, and I'm just disappointed I never got to try it sooner, as it was one of the first supplements they ever launched, which again, as we mentioned in our interview, it's not a typical category to tackle right out of the gate for a new brand. The last story we have comes from Naughty Boy. Now, Naughty Boy, we started sharing, I think, even before they launched. It was they reached out, the brand looked kind of interesting, and then they started sharing the formulas and sharing the products. And they've just been I'm glad we started following them, because they've been a very interesting brand to watch grow. Despite being relatively new and international, it's a UK-based brand, they've done a great job to expand, like just a phenomenal job to grow as fast as they have. And they've done it in a way just with great quality, just well-rounded formulas. Like if you look at the products, they're not overloaded, but they're not they're not subpar. They're right around a good comprehensive effectiveness. They launched with their pre-workout menace. They've teased their fat burner. They've done the pump product, is SickPump. You've got the single ingredient stuff. They did a creatine monohydrate. They've just done a lot in a short amount of time. While they did kind of come about the same time as Glaxon, and they haven't done quite as much as Glaxon in terms of expansion and new products. They've done a pretty damn good job for an international brand. And I'm not saying the international brands are bad, but sometimes it's hard to keep up with the pace of the US brands that just launch stuff quite frequently. Naughty Boy has just been better than the majority of brands on the entire market, not just in its own UK region. It's just been awesome to watch, and the reason I'm bringing them up is because this past week they announced a new supplement, also called SickPump, but it's a spin-off of their SickPump, their pump pre-workout, called SickPump Synergy. And basically what it is they've taken a lot of the pump ingredients that are in SickPump, in the original SickPump, and they've infused it with nootropics. While it did already have a focus ingredient in it, they've just added more to it, kind of to give it a better balance of like 50-50 pumps and focus, whereas the other one was primarily pumps with, I think it was like one ingredient for focus. But of course you can stack this, as far as I know, you can stack this with Menace. So it's pretty cool to see that kind of variant so early on from a company to be able, they launched like 6 months ago. It's pretty cool to see them be able to put out just a product like this so soon. And again, such a new company, you just get the feel that they've been around for a while typically, and a lot of thought has gone into the formulas and the approach. So you can check that out on the site. We list out all the ingredients that are in it, and it's also not just the only supplement these guys have coming soon. In addition to Menace, SickPump, and the Drip, that's the name of the fat burner, which I believe are already out there. They also have another product on the way called Wise Guy. This was announced, I believe, it was a couple weeks back, and this will be their focus formula. And I believe we shared the full ingredients on that. Again, similar to other stuff, pretty well rounded, included solid dosages, and just a full comprehensive kind of feel. Not super overloaded as we've seen from other brands, but right up there with some of the top brands. And it's been exciting to watch them. You can check them out. You can check out all the new stories on Naughty Boy. If you just go to one of their stories, you'll see you can search on the site, or you just at the bottom of each post you'll see a tag that says Naughty Boy. You can click that and it'll just show you all the stories from Naughty Boy. So it's exciting to see them grow, and they've done pretty damn well to just, I guess, become as known as they have been. And again, fun to watch. Seems to be a very well thought out brand, and I do believe they're on our list to interview in the coming weeks. I'm not too sure what our next one is. Obviously, as mentioned, Ben from More will be this Wednesday, but so definitely tune in on Wednesday, or be on the lookout for our next interview. It is a good one. It's very interesting to hear the thought process behind that brand, which, much like Naughty Boy, has just been pretty exciting and pretty impressive these first few months of the year. We dive into a lot of stuff with Morphogen, including the beginning, which it's definitely a good listen. And as I said, I apologize for the length of that one, as we like to try and keep around the 20-30 minute mark, but it's worth the time. So thank you for tuning in for this episode. We'll look forward to having you back on Wednesday, and then we'll have, of course, next week's roundup episode next week. Thank you.